Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and it is just me today for a few videos because Neon is busy elsewhere. So we were going to do this video the other day and then stuff happened and we didn't get to it. But I wanted to do this today because I found it very funny now that everyone is kind of like turning on Star Wars and Lucasfilm and being like, would you just make a movie? Like, what's going on? Of course, this article has to, of course, blame the fans, as they always do. But it's really funny to me that IGN made an article that said, Disney, stop announcing Star Wars movies and make one. So, why we should never pay attention to Star Wars news? No kidding. So before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo. And I'm also supposed to remind you that you could check out our Clownfish Minus over here at clownfishminus.com. There are different membership levels you can get. You can, to support the channel, you can also get products. There's a discount for those, for a lot of products, not every product. There's a discount for those who are subscribers, but anybody can buy them over there. We're also on Locals, so I want to make sure I mention that if you want to check us out there. You can support the channel that way. Neon's not here to do it, so I'm doing it for him. So anyway, we're going to talk about what I want to talk about. That's all done. I did it. You can tell him I did it. And now we're going to talk about Star Wars. So I just find this highly entertaining. And any of you who's been following along this for a long time and know how we've been covering this at length for quite a while would also find this very entertaining, especially if you're one of those toxic fanboy man babies, especially if you're not a man that, hates Star Wars. So this is an IGN article from a couple days ago by Carlos. Okay, another week, another Star Wars announcement that leads to languished sighs over the internet. Despite Daisy Ridley saying only a few weeks ago that the Rey-focused Star Wars movie was evolving and we get an update soon, the news came soon after that the next untitled Star Wars film was being yanked from the December 18th, 2026 release date and replaced with Ice Age 6. Whether or not you're excited for the new Ice Age film, it's certainly not a great sign that was supposed to be the crowning jewel franchise in Disney's lineup when they purchased the property in 2012 is now being shoved aside for yet another animal movie in 2024. It's because you mismanaged it. It's been mismanaged. It is a damaged brand. You're going to be hard pressed to get people back. Mandalorian was your best shot, and you done screwed that one up too. Said it's not surprising. No, you're right, it's not. Regardless of anyone's thoughts on the quality of individual products, the Disney Star Wars era has been rife with corporate mismanagement, constant second-guessing, and an inability to envision a future for the property beyond pilfering from the past. They're mad because they keep doing, they keep going back to original characters and things like that, because that's where the audience is. Okay, here's what's going on. You have a franchise that's been around for decades, right? You have an audience that has been with this franchise for decades. Then you want to do new things, and you start out, even though it was pretty much the same crap all over again with The Force Awakens, you still give them the member berries and the nostalgia that people were still mostly excited, even though they were mad that you didn't bring Han, Luke, and Leia back together like you promised, and that was colossally stupid, and I still can't believe you did that. But after that, it has been a concerted effort to alienate the original fans. There are some fans who like all of the movies, and that's fine. If you like them, you are allowed to like them. I have no problem people like things. And they have gone out of their way that anybody who doesn't like their stuff, doesn't like their changes, doesn't like the Force is female, all that, you are, a bigot, nistophobic, whatever, insert, whatever insult you want to insert right there. And it has done nothing but split the fandom. It is empowered and emboldened new fans that think they can make fun of old fans, and old fans get upset and call them out, and then they're the bigots and the racists and stuff. What do you think was going to happen? And we see this time and time again with franchises. She-Ra, Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, etc. We keep seeing it. We're going to reboot it with a new gender swapped, race swapped, whatever characters, and when people don't like it, that's because they're terrible people. And that's just, the baggage of the old fandom goes along with a new incarnation. That is just what happens. And then if you get rid of all your old fans, you kind of done screwed up, and that's why all your toys are at Ollie's. Ironically, for Black Friday, they were giving a 25% off discount. I think it was Black Friday. It was recently. 25% off discount on action figures. And they were listing Star Wars and Marvel among them because they can't move this crap. Okay? Not hard to understand. So they're talking about the fandom movies. which I think is actually kind of funny. So they said the Rey movie is going to be directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, and that may not have been the movie that just lost its release date. We don't know that, actually, and that's true. We don't know if that is, but it probably is. They said the film was lost. Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight is its writer, and they're saying that Rey is supposed to be part of multiple development projects. And she's supposed to be set after the rise of Skywalker, establishing the new Jedi Order, which right there is pissing people off because if you were fans of the books or the expanded universe, it was Luke, not Rey, who would do that. And most people would expect it to be Luke, but you took his legacy and flushed it for Rey. And they said that, him leaving the project is probably why it's pushed back. But we've seen this again and again. And they say that for more Star Wars projects have been announced and failed to materialize than actually been produced during the Disney era. They're constantly announcing something, especially at like a big event like D23 or Star Wars Celebration. And then they have to walk it back later when they done mess it up. Creative differences and air quotes happen all the time. I know with Obi-Wan, they had a script and everything else. And then creative differences, they got rid of him, the person behind it, put a new person in and made the little Leia show, which still made no sense. That is a sticking point for me. I have no problem with Reva so much as I do the little Leia show. And it's nothing to do with the actress. I thought she was cute. I thought, little Leia would be a good show, just not this one. It doesn't make sense. So they talked about, Benioff and Weiss, how they were supposed to do projects and they were do a trilogy and they were let go. Rian Johnson, thank God, isn't doing one at this point. He keeps claiming that he might later. James Mangold, different things. We had the Boba Fett spinoff that was reworked into The Mandalorian. There's been, so many different people that were signed on for stuff and then they got gone. You even had the people, behind Solo. They were there, they got gone. It just keeps happening. And the person in charge of this, at the end of the day, where the buck stops, is Kathleen Kennedy. And they will not get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, even though her contract's supposed to be up at the end of the year and there has not been news of a renewal. They just will not seem to get rid of this woman. So their best bet is to get rid of her and get somebody in there that can actually get this crap done and appeal to audiences across the board and bring back the old Star Wars fans that you kind of alienated. They said Patty Jenkins, which supposedly that's still happening, but who the hell knows? Taika Waititi, Lando with Donald Glover, Sean Levy's Untitled Film, the New Republic era movie with Dave Filoni, etc., etc. We get all these announcements, but who the hell knows where everything's going? The only thing we know right now is there's going to be a Mandalorian and Grogu film and a lot of Rey stuff in development because they are tripling down on Rey, which is really stupid. When they've tried to do tripling down on their stuff, it has not gone well. Galaxy's Edge. If you had just stuck with things people know, instead of trying to make your own city, it would have done better. But no, you didn't do that. The Star Cruiser Hotel, Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. If you had stuck with, original trilogy and gone after the audience that's a larger audience with things that people know, it probably would have done better. That and the fact that it was too ridiculously overpriced. And I kind of miss complaining about that. But here we are. You would have done better, but no, you know better. You're trying to double, triple down and cash in on your stuff. And we had an Imagineer talk about the fact that they were going to go with classic trilogy until they saw the dailies for the Force Awakens, and then Iger decided to switch everything to that, which is great, except for the fact that by The Last Jedi, you've completely fractured the fan base, and The Rise of Skywalker, which they go on to talk about, nobody likes. It pleased no one. So they're talking about that. Oh, yeah, they're talking about the Dark Phoenix guy. They said that Simon Kinberg's upcoming trilogy will pan. You think it's going to pan out differently? Has Lucasfilm really banked their future on a Dark Phoenix guy? Pretty much. The biggest reason we're in this state is the Rise of Skywalker. No. I'm going to correct you there. The biggest reason we're in this state is not the Rise of Skywalker. The biggest reason we're in this state is because The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was ridiculous. It undid all the Force Awakens setup. And then The Rise of Skywalker went in and undid that. So what happened was you had no overarching story. You had different people coming in to do these, and you're like, all over the place with it, which is completely stupid. And that's like writing 101. Don't do that. You knew there was a trilogy. You should have had a story. First, here's what the first one, the second one, and third one are going to be. It's an overarching story. Didn't do that. Then you undo all the stuff that was done in the first movie. You subvert expectations, you undo, canon about what a Jedi is and all that other stuff. And then by the third movie, you have like one group who's all about it because they want to hear that, yay, girl power, anyone could be a Jedi. And then you have the old fans who are like, what the hell was that? And then you try to bring the old fans back, and then you just piss off everyone. But it was The Last Jedi that was the start of it, not The Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker, this person sounds like they're personally pissed that they did The Rise of Skywalker because they liked The Last Jedi. And with a lot of journalists, that's what you get. But no, it was The Last Jedi. He's just mad that The Rise of Skywalker walked that back, and they're ticked about it. That's the way it comes across. And they're talking about, that the movie's there, and the audiences went from being incredibly excited to tremendously weary of Star Wars, and Lucasfilm hasn't been able to get a new film off the ground in the time since. Yes, because Last Jedi sucked, and then Rise of Skywalker just made it worse. Still have not even seen. Oh yeah, here. The trilogy had some interesting new characters, and The Last Jedi tried to add thematic depth. Yeah. No. You're just pissed because they undid what you wanted. That's what you're mad about. Well, get in line. Now you know what the rest of us feel like for all this crap. We're talking about Solo Star Wars Stories of Bomb because people were boycotting it in response to The Last Jedi. And it just wasn't that good. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't like to the level of other Star Wars films. And I think a lot of people just didn't want to see it. That is why we don't have a Boba Fett film. They're talking about the different shows. We have Andor was great. Vision tried to do something different. We had The Mandalorian and stuff like that. But they're saying everything else kind of plummets. Like The Acolyte didn't do well. We've had other shows. I'm not sure how well this Skeleton Crew is going to do. It kind of looks like it's trying to be the Goonies. But here we go. Here's where we get to the fan bashing. Because, we can never have an article from one of these people without having to get digs into the fan. And it's exactly what you expect. The same narrative, repeated again, rinse and repeat. What makes this even more depressing to think about is that all the Lucasfilm walking back and second guessing of their creative decisions is clearly being done out of fear of their own audience. Now, to be fair, Rogue One underwent significant reshoots before the tide turned against the franchise. Rogue One was good. Rogue One wasn't bad. They talk about Tony Gilroy brought him into the series. We'll give it a pass. But ever since, let's say, mixed online reception to The Last Jedi, this person is so salty-ass mad that people don't like the damn Last Jedi. Him and every other journo. Because they're the few that liked it. And then they were mad when Rise of Skywalker came out because it walked back their shit too. And it's like, you know what? You know how you feel about this? This is how everybody else feels about The Last Jedi. I don't know what to tell you. The Rise of Skywalker feels like a plea for fans to not make any more angry YouTube videos about The Last Jedi. I bet you money those YouTube videos get a lot more views than your article will. I'm just saying. I hope you enjoy this one. I think you're full of crap. Tripling down on nostalgia out of fear of anything that could be perceived as different or subversive. No, it was, you literally, beyond the whole old fan thing, beyond the whole, that you had fans for years and you completely made Luke a hermit and did all these things out of character for Luke and it was stupid. Beyond that, you had from the first movie set up certain story elements, like Snoke and all that. You got rid of it. What was the up with Adam Driver running around shirtless? And her, using visions when he's like shirtless. Why? Why was Luke Skywalker shooting milk out of a, creepy Oliver's beard? That was just nasty. Why? You have, everybody can be a Jedi. You have Broom Boy. You got all this other crap that does completely in the flies in the face of the original series. But beyond that, you have all these things set up going into this one, and you had him completely, Rian Johnson completely undid it. Like, Poe and Finn were good characters. Finn is who I wanted to see be a Jedi. I thought that would be a really creative story. Like he was a stormtrooper and now he's going to be a Jedi. And that was really, really cool angle. And I was really excited about that. And then you turned around and make him you made it look like he was the main character. And then it was Rey, which is fine. They can both be Jedi. But you wasted Finn. You wasted Poe. You set them up as really good characters. And then all that Rian Johnson did was, make them terrible people at the beginning of the movie for no good reason when they weren't before. Undo, Finn's heroism. Poe all of a sudden's a narcissistic asshat. And you did all that. And then the only reason that you did this was so you could add Holdo and Rose Tico, your own characters, your own OCs. And people didn't like those characters. And it has nothing to do with them being, women or Asian. It has to do with the fact that they were just there to, undo the other guys, because you can't be equal. No, you have to have a woman in there to push them in their place. And it was really, really jolting, and it wasn't necessary, and it was stupid. And I've said a million times, I like Kelly Marie Tran. I think she's a sweetheart. But the character sucked. Rose Tico's character sucks. And that is what it is. I am sorry. And the audience, it did really well at first, but it dropped off a cliff, and it was such a stark drop that they had to try to walk it back for Rise of Skywalker. And that was a disaster too. If it went over so well with everyone and it did gangbusters like you guys want to make it out to be, they wouldn't have walked it back for Rise of Skywalker. So bullshit. I'm sorry that you think that, but you're full of crap, okay? Even the things they set up in their own sequel trilogy, they undid. It's not just about nostalgia. So stop blaming it on the fans who are calling out the obvious, okay? Just stop. They're talking here about, the deep fake Luke Skywalker strolling onto the screen, despite the stand-in they used looking like young Mark Hamill who stepped out of time warp, to forcing Rosario Dawson and Mary Elizabeth Winstead into ridiculous-looking cosplay makeup so they can play characters who really should have stayed in animation. Boy, this person... So anything that worked, you're mad about. But the stuff that didn't work, the stuff you liked, you're not mad about. Is what's going on here. Breaking original trilogy canon with Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen and Darth Vader having another duel. Which, yeah, I agree with you there. That was stupid. But you're not mentioning the fact that it broke canon, too, that little Leia was there, and he had a whole adventure with little Leia, and he just said, don't pretend like you don't know me next time. And that's supposed to make it right. You're picking and choosing here. So you want to accuse us of that, but you're doing the same thing. The duel was canon breaking, but so was little Leia. Okay? But I notice you aren't mentioning that, are you? No, because you wanted to make sure you talk this next part where you're talking about how they're strangling Star Wars to death, which I agree. That would be bad enough on its own, but the company's worst part of the fandom, they try to, capitulate to the worst part of the fandom. And it gets more egregious when you remember they've largely refused to stand behind actors of color who received the most toxic response in their projects. John Boyega, who was mad at Disney, Kelly Marie Tran, and Amanda Stenberg. Let's talk about this. John Boyega, a lot of people were mad because they wanted Finn to be the Jedi. He was mad at Disney because he thought Disney were the ones that shrunk him on the poster for China and did that shit, not the audience. I'd watch a Finn movie. I'd watch a Finn and Poe movie. I'd watch that all day long. I loved Finn. I wanted to see more John Boyega. Kelly Marie Tran, I like Kelly Marie Tran, but Rose Tico was a train wreck. I am sorry. She was. It was a necessary character just put there to foil the male characters in there. And Amanda Stenberg, she was herself acting out in such a way that it was annoying people before the show even came out. And I want to point out, too, you're not mentioning Moses Ingram in there. And they stood behind Moses Ingram. We're not going to stand for racism. But they had that Christina Ariel going around making kind of racist comments about white women, and that was okay. Meanwhile, Gina Carano has faced all kinds of, unfair behavior and toxic backlash and stuff and harassment. And you said nothing to protect her. And you don't mention her in here. You're just picking and choosing. And I don't ever agree with harassing anybody online. I've said that a million times. Don't harass these people. That doesn't do any good. But I also know that sometimes if you're trying to make a point and you want to hurry up and be like, look over there, you will, there's been times I've seen it on our channel in particular, I've seen it here, where people will make a caricature of what they think the other side is, and it's obviously a caricature because it's so ridiculous, to try to be like, look, they're saying this about you, and it's themselves doing it. Not necessarily these actors, but that side. And I don't necessarily believe it. But Amanda Stenberg was out there just saying stupid stuff and then making that video. If Gina Carano had made a video like that, what would have happened? She's too classy to do that, but I'm just saying. Don't give me that. Kelly Marie Tran never made a video or acted that way. She got harassed, but she never said anything or spoke out like the way that Amanda did. That's just apples to oranges right there. Star Wars is a mess, and it'll stay that way so long as the current leadership and corporate attitude remains in place. Agreed. He won't say Kathleen Kennedy has to go, but I'll say Kathleen Kennedy has to go. Constantly hiring, firing, recycling creatives on their projects just for none of them to get it made is no way to run a movie studio. I agree with you there, 100%. The cultural rot at the heart of this enterprise is too deep-rooted to be removed by anything less than a complete overhaul. Cultural rot, he means you guys. He means anybody who doesn't like The Last Jedi and likes what he likes and says nasty things about the stuff he likes. That's the cultural rot, just so you know. He means like us and YouTubers and things like that. They said they don't even know if it's even possible at this stage. I don't think it is. What's not is that the franchise has been lost for a long time. It likely won't find its way out of the woods anytime soon. I agree. But until then, we'd be better off if we stopped giving Lucasfilm any benefit of the doubt. No shit! Because the last few years of Star Wars, I'm afraid to say that's not how the Force works. Duh! You obviously are a bigot who hate people that aren't white and are whatever other things they want to accuse us of all the time. Whether incel, man-baby troll, etc., because, you know, it doesn't matter. Oh, you're straight white male, even if you aren't. Just like I'm a misogynist, even though I'm a woman, because I don't like Rey. You know, welcome to the party, pal, but you're wrong about some of this stuff. You're right about a lot of it, but you're wrong about who you're blaming it on. So anyway, I just thought this was funny because this is IGN. IGN saying it. Everyone's turning on it. They're all like, what the heck is going on with Star Wars? You're finally waking up and seeing what everybody else has been seeing for a long time now. And I don't think it's going to get any better till Kathleen Kennedy's out of there. So there you go. That was a long video and I was here by myself. And I'm sorry if I talked too quickly, but I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe and I'll talk to you later. Bye.